a second to check out my Patreon page, guys. Your support is really appreciated. Enjoy the tutorial. Hey guys, and welcome to the 5th Let's Go tutorial doing Start Blaster. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up the upload button and the skip button, because even though we're skipping, the button is still going to be logging a score locally into the device. So I haven't built the high scores page yet, we'll leave that for the next video, but what I will be doing in this one is showing you how I've gone about setting up the skip and the upload. So first things first, let's look at the skip button. The skip button, I've now made a new function called set local score. Now, after the set local score has been complete, it will then have a navigation service just to go back, because all we really want to do is take them back to the menu. Providing you haven't added any extra pages, this is the way to do it. So if you were to navigate the same way that you navigate to this page, with the navigation service.navigate and then the page, it would effectively put the games page into the back stack, and then you'd have, when they pressed back on the other screen, it would then take them back to this one to take them back again. So if you use go back, it actually removes this page from the little back stack, and they can't end up pressing the back key and then landing back on the playing page. So that's why I use go back. Plus it just makes sense. So anyway, on the skip button, the reason I put the set local score into a separate function is because it gets used on both of them. So I'll show you first of all what happens. So when we set the local score, what we do is we check to see if the app settings contains a best score. And you can call it whatever you want. I'm calling it best score because it's just the score locally on the phone. So if it contains a best score, then what we need to do is we need to find the best score. So we need to get the best score. We set up this little integer here, and we make it equal to the app settings, the value of best score, so whatever was saved in that bit of the app settings, and we turn it into an integer with this bit here. So now we've got our best score, which could be whatever. We have to say, is that score less than the new score? Because if it's less than the new score, then what we want to do is we want to remove the best score and then add it again with the new score in place. Otherwise, we don't want to do anything else. So if it's not less than the new one, then we leave it because it's still technically the best score. Then we've got an else statement on there to basically say if a best score is yet to be set. So say this is like a fresh downloaded app, there's not going to be a best score in there, so we have to catch the fact that that is the case, and we just add this score as the best score. So then we have our upload button here. So that was just the skip button. That was the set local score, and then navigate, and it just takes you back. Now the upload button is different, obviously, because we have to upload our score to a database. So I'll run you through this code, and then I'll take you to the PHP page where I've done this. So what we have to do, oh wait, I should probably mention this as well. The loading. I have added some extra bits in here. Basically, I've added in a rectangle which takes up the entire page, a text block which sits in the middle of the page, and then a progress bar. Now if I make all of these visible for a second, what you can see here is a very plain and boring load screen. You could make this whatever color you wanted to, you know, really it doesn't matter what color it is. It's just, that's how I kind of had it set. We could set it to a nice blue of some sort, but that wouldn't really make sense because I think the app's in orange, isn't it? I don't really know. Let's set it. I'm gonna leave it where it was. Let's do that. So basically, this will go over the entire screen to effectively give the user the effect of loading, but also, more to the point, it stops them pressing anything on the screen, stops them pressing any buttons. It's like if they press the upload button again when they've already pressed it the first time, it could cause problems, or if they press the skip button after pressing the upload button, it might not upload in time. So what I've done here is added this rectangle, this text block, and this progress bar. And if we just collapse these again, I made well, it's not like a lazy function. I made a function I use throughout most of my apps when I'm doing loading and stuff. And I literally just made a function called loading, and then put a boolean in it called status. So basically, when you call the method, when you call the function, you literally just put loading, and instead of just doing this, you can actually say true. And if you load true, then it will make the loading start. In other words, it will cover the page and block the page off, and if you put false, then it will remove them. So as you can see here, if the status is equal to true, then it sets the visibility to visible on all of the loading bits, but then if it's false, it hides them all again. So that means that what I do when I'm down here and they've clicked on the upload button, it sets the loading to true so that it all pops up on the screen, and then the rest of the code executes itself. So what happens here is we've got a new web client, and it's navigating to my page here, which is my website with the directory, and then the PHP file, which is called uploadscore.php. Now in this circumstance I'm using get and not post. Get information means that you can pass that information through the URL to upload it into the database, or you could use post, which then means, because effectively you could just navigate to this page and enter information manually if you knew what the URL was for someone's app, but it's never been a problem. It's not a problem really if you don't tell anybody about these pages. Otherwise you can use post information and then no one can enter it via the URL. But for the sake of this example and to get you started on understanding the databases, we literally just do in the PHP file here we have a get for user, so it trims anything that's got user, and it trims score. So if we look back at our back in our coding here, we can see that we've got the PHP page. We put a little question mark on the end so we can start passing some values. So we do user equals, then we stop the string, add our user's name, and then we start a new. Then we add that onto the string there. We then add on an and sign, which means we're going to do another bit of information. So it will stop looking. Once it sees user, it will look up to the and then it will stop. So then from the and symbol, we've then got score, where we then enter the user score, and it's obviously score equals, the same as it was user equals, and then at the end we add the and sign and the date time now, which never gets used, but it just stops it from being cached, and if you don't put that on there, then Windows Phone will just resend the same information or get the same URL because it thinks it's being useful, but it's not in our case because we want to send new information. So then we have our upload score complete event here. Once it's complete, if the response equals done, in other words, in our PHP here, when I've finished entering this information, I echo done, which means effectively if you went to the page and entered the information, all you would see on the page is the word done. And the app can read that and says done. If it comes back as done, then it's going to set the local score, the same as the previous code did. It's going to give them a message box saying their score was uploaded and give them a little OK button. It's going to set the loading to false, so the loading is no longer on the screen, and then it's going to navigate back a page, back onto the home screen. And then there's one other bit which is on the try and the catch. There's a fail to upload score message box for if the user has problem connected to the internet, or if basically your image is down, your file is offline for some reason, or you've got the URL wrong, you're likely to get struck by those same messages. So keep an eye on making sure you've got your URLs right. So that's the upload score button there, upload score here. That will actually just send our information off to the PHP file. So now let me show you how that works. So in here I've got my database settings kept separately from the file that I'm showing you, simply because I'm protecting my server information. But basically you'll enter something along the lines of localhost, and then you'll add your user. You can be one of those people who just uses root, or you can just make your own user, and then put your password in for your server connection. Then you want to select your database. As you can see, I'm selecting Star Blaster because that's the database we're using, and then we're doing a simple insert. So we're inserting into the high scores table. We're inserting into the columns of user and score, and in those two we are entering information 1 and information 2, which, as you can see up here, info 1 is the user that's getting passed and info 2 is the score. And then we're echoing done, obviously. So we'll switch over to the database quickly and I'll show you here. This is the high scores table. We have user and we have score. Quite simple really. So now I might as well show you it in action. So we'll run the application. And we'll give myself a different name this time, so I'm going to call myself, I don't know, James, because everyone else seems to want to call me James even if my name is Jamie. And then we'll tap to begin. So let's see. Unfortunately, this is the part you can't really speed up because it's a timer, so I'll just try and make the most of it and get a good score. This is not going well. So when we looked at the database a minute ago, there was 2 entries. Both entries were my name of JME Jamie, and one had a score of 60 and the other was 50 something, which was pretty shocking. Oh, come on, come on. Oh god, I can never get above 60. So anyway, here we have our options of skip and upload. I'm not going to show you the skip one because it just literally goes back a page. There's nothing exciting to it. So I'll show you the upload one. When you press upload score, it says it was so quick. You can see the loading is in the background there, but because I'm doing it off the emulator, and obviously it's got a very good connection directly to the internet, the score was sent pretty damn quick. So as you can see, our message popped up saying the score was uploaded. I press OK, I get navigated back. Now in theory, in our database here, we can see James has now entered a score of 60. So that's just as simple as it is, really. I mean, now in the next video what I'll show you is we're going to build the high scores page, which will most likely be something like a list box, just because they're simple, and we'll just output the top 10 scores maybe from the database, and I'll show you how to list them in MySQL. I'll show you the PHP pages that you'll be making as well. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page, subscribe, I don't know, check me out on Twitter, and that's just about it really. So I'll see you in the next one.